Hey guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the last question in this lesson in a separate video because this one might be a little bit more lengthier. I don't know. I don't remember how long this could be, but let's just give it a shot. So it says here find a second derivative. Well, the first derivative is 2x plus I have a u times v, so it's the first times the derivative of the second. And I gotta throw in the y prime because anytime you're taking the derivative of y with respect to x, it becomes a y prime as a chain rule. Plus the second times the derivative of the first, which is 1, minus the derivative of y is y prime. Equals, well, not equals 2, because what's the derivative of 2? 0. All I did was take the derivative of every term on the top. X squared became 2x, x times y became x e to the y, all this, and then minus y became minus y prime. That's all I did here. So let's solve for y prime. So by subtracting 2x to both sides, I can make it easier to do that. So it's x e to the y times y prime minus y prime equals negative 2x. I have y prime. I can factor out a y prime so that I get this expression left. Now let's go ahead and talk about what happened here. This became a negative 1 because I have a negative 1 times y prime. So that's why a negative 1 survived. So I've been seeing a lot of zeros or those things just disappearing. It doesn't disappear. It's being multiplied by 1. Now we're going to be dividing both sides by this. And I have this part here. Here's my derivative. dy dx is equal to negative 2x over x e to the y minus 1. And if you go back to the previous day, you'll see that this is the derivative. This is the same problem like we did in the previous day. Now let's talk about the second derivative of this equation. So the derivative of a derivative is a second derivative. And now we have a quotient rule. Okay? So let's do this. Let's do the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom. I need some space, so hopefully you guys already have the notes down. And if you don't, well, if you should, but make some space for this part. What's the derivative of the bottom? Well, I have a product rule. So that means it's going to be the first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first, which is just 1. And then the derivative of minus 1 is just 0. There's my top. All over the bottom squared. Now this problem is overkill. I don't want you guys to think, I can't believe I have to do a problem like this to pass the AP exam. Well, they'll never ask you to find a second derivative of a problem of this difficulty. It is just too hard. Okay, we're almost done here. So let me clean this up. Let me move this negative 2 to the front. Negative 2 x e to the y minus 1. A negative and a negative make a positive. And then all of this becomes x e to the y, y prime, plus e to the y, all over x e to the y minus 1 squared. Now it says to find it in terms of x and y, so that means that this y prime has to go. How do I make it go away? Well, Remember what y prime equal to? This is y prime. So substituting this into y prime and I'm done. I'm not going to go any further than this. I'm just going to make the simple substitution. Like I said, this would not be a problem on the AP exam. It's just way too much. Now, if you want to, you can challenge yourself and see if you can simplify this further. I'm pretty sure there is a way, but I'm not going to do it. So notice the problem did not say that it wanted a specific answer. It just wanted the problem. It just wants the second derivative in terms of x's and y's. And if you go through each term, notice that there are no y primes left. And you're done with this problem.